But as we were talking about Kanye West, who's very, hated and has a lot of controversy behind him, another big controversial thing that's come back up in the news is Rust. And it keeps
Oh
coming
boy.
up because of course it keeps all these things keep developing. Well, now today they're saying they are going to go back into production. Even though Alec Baldwin is being charged and the armor is being charged, they're like, okay, well, we're going to hopefully start shooting again in the spring. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to happen, especially with these legal charges. Bianca Klein, who was actually the one, she's coming back, whose recent credits as a what she did, like with shoes on is called, but she's gonna be the cinematographer now, so that's a new cinematographer. Same producers are coming on board, same directors coming on board. Everyone's pretty much coming back,
Who also got
and,
shot, by the way.
and they're saying, okay, we're still gonna complete this film. It's gonna happen. To me, I'm kind of surprised that they're just not letting this lie, especially if Alec Baldwin has legal charges he's got to deal with. How can he actually shoot? How are they going to make it happen? Maybe they're hoping that it'll all blow over by then, but I don't know. Rachel, you've heard about this a lot, probably. What's your thought? I think we actually talked about this last time you were on, which is kind of hilarious. I think maybe I don't know. I think we talked about this so many times. But what do you think about what's happened so far with Alec Baldwin and the whole production of Rust?
I think it's a really complicated issue. I think there's a lot of hands in the basket and a lot of different responsibility to take place for it. I don't think there's any singular person for my uneducated perspective, to be fair, because I have not worked on that kind of set. The only time I've ever been on a set per se was for like a reality show as an extra. So I think there's a lot going on with prop management and stuff that the ball was dropped. And of course, anytime you're working with any sort of weapon that could have live ammunition, you need to like check it before you do it. So I just think it's a really complicated issue, and I think it's kind of too soon to pick up the development of that film again.
Does it surprise you though? I mean, it surprises me that they would actually like start or talk about starting right now, especially everything that's been developing in the news recently. It's like, I
Right.
mean, who's the person that's like, let's pull the trigger and just keep pushing forward? To me, it just doesn't seem like it's like they're in the right mindset. Like take a minute, take
Yeah.
a beat, wait some time, and then we'll see if we can finish this movie because you might
Yeah.
not even have your lead actor right now.
Did you
So
literally just pun pull the trigger in a Rust conversation?
I don't think you meant to.
I don't think I meant to. No, I don't even know what I said.
You're like, whoever said let's pull the trigger on starting this production again. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's probably the worst term to say, or worst, wording to say with this, but yeah. I mean, you got a new cinematographer on
It's
board. I don't know. It just seems like you just leave it alone right now, you
from
know?
from your perspective. If you were working on a film and you were mortally wounded and died, would you want them to still produce and finish that film that you had died making as a filmmaker?
Good
Well,
question.
that's the thing, and I think that for me, if it's especially it's your last film, I mean, you want it. I mean, I would want it out there. I would want it
Mhm.
out there because it is like product of your work, especially as an actor. It's like your last thing, and a lot of times people will scream for that if an actor dies. Like look at the Crow. It's like people wanted that still, and it's his last performance. So for me as an actor, of course, I want people to see my work. Now, if there's not enough footage where it's actually going to be me doing it, then maybe it just lies in the editing floor, because it's not done enough to do it. There's certain times where you can do it. I think it's fine. Like they with Paul Walker with the Fast and Furious. I think that works because most of his stuff was shot already. You bring in his brother. You can do a little bit the face swapping out and stuff, face offing, and you can make it work. So I think that situation works with this. So I don't I just don't know. Like not enough is done to me. It is her last work, so yeah, I get it. Like you would want her product out there, but I just think there's just so much controversy with this. This is one of those things that just let lie for me. But as an artist, I get it. I would feel that way. Sabrina, what do you think? Would you want this to come out like for her, or do you think that it should just be put to the sideline?
I don't I'm not against it getting finished at some point. I just think like while charges were just announced for involuntary manslaughter amongst two crew members, one of whom is a producer and a star, It just seems a little bit premature. And they had initially made a statement in October of last year saying that they were going to start shooting in January, which obviously has come and gone. So this is the second time that they've, threatened reproduction or continuing production. So I don't know if they're just trying to keep it in the news and not only in the negative way that it's being portrayed because of the charges. But I think the weirdest thing for me is that her husband, Helena Hutchinson's husband, who is now an executive producer on the film and settled out of court for the wrongful death suit, is like their family made a statement in this whole thing where they're like totally on board with the fact that they're getting charged after they settled out of court, for monetary disposition and also compensation, excuse me, and also for him becoming an executive producer on the film. So I think that is a little bit of an odd development. And I think that it is absolutely too soon to continue production on this. I mean, there are a lot of moving parts and most notably the fact that two people involved, one which you really can't avoid unless you recast, are going to be held up in court for a minute dealing with this situation. So I think it's a little bit nuts, honestly.
Yeah, to me, it's just there's too much going on right now to be dealing with actually talking about shooting, the filming, I should say, filming, that we should,
Right.
again, fuck me tonight, but filming
Sorry.
that maybe we let this lie for a second. And then, after everything's done and the court cases are dealt with and whatever happens, however the cards fall, then we talk about finishing the movie. You can talk about, trying to find new cinematographer and all that. That's great and all, but again, there's too much going on with this right now, I think, for us to be
The
talking about
director
filming.
also was shot and injured, and he's
ready to come
He's
back
like, I'm ready to
and
go.
rock and
Like,
roll.
what?
Yeah.
He's
But
like
with bad
brushing
news,
off.
I don't want to keep dwelling on this. We'll bring it up some more once there's more information about it.